And if you want to master your field craft and develop your tactical virtue, man, how many times have I said that? But what am I actually talking about? I had a really good question about Stoke, man. What do you mean when you say tactical virtue? So here we go. Let's try to unpack this. But to unpack that, I need to unpack the entire thing. Right? What is field craft? I think that one's a whole lot easier, to kind of wrap our heads around. Fieldcraft, is the things that we do. Now, the channel's not really specific on bushcraft. I mean, you will see me spend a lot of time out in the field, right? Off-grid. But bushcraft kind of, presupposes more primitive techniques, whether it's fire building, shelter, just all types of craft or artisan type things that we can bring to the table that might be non-modern. Now, I'm all for those. I love having those. I love sharing what I know about this way of being while we're out in the wilderness. But that's not what fieldcraft is. Fieldcraft, I think, will encompass that, right? It will encompass it, but it's more than primitive techniques. And so that's why you see a lot of and not to say that, land navigation is not bushcraft, but it's kind of a different flavor, I guess, of bushcraft. And certainly, I've shared some thoughts and comments on patrolling and some different techniques and doing some different things, and security. Fieldcraft, is it all military based? Yes, but no, right? Yes, but no. And so, I think fieldcraft at the end of the day, however you want to describe it, is all of the things that we do while we're off the trail, right? You step outside and you're outdoors, what are you doing? Now, what you're going to continue to see is the continued integration of both urban and wilderness techniques, because I'm all for it, right? I don't think our mind stops just because we get on a paved road. I think we need to continue to understand how we can use our craft, use our knowledge in any scenario that we find ourselves in, right? Regardless of the condition, standards should be the same, right? I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard that kind of stuff. So I guess if fieldcraft is what we do, tactical virtue is kind of the why. But before I tell you and kind of break that down a little bit more, what we're talking about is that mindset that leads to. And I guess, the best way to share this is going to be a little, ideological, a little philosophical, I guess, if you will. Is to compare, fieldcraft and tactical virtue with our breathing. You see, our breathing is one thing, but it has two movements, right? We breathe in and we breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And it's so simple, right? It is so simple. But so many people don't know how to properly breathe. And if you don't believe me, ask anybody who's gone for a run or try to teach somebody how to run. You have to learn how to breathe. It's the pattern and the synchronization for myself, right? So I synchronize my breathing in with my pace count. And depending on whether I just started a run, whether I'm halfway through or I'm hitting that wall or I'm done, I'll have different patterns of breathing, but it always matches my pace count. It's always in sync, right? It's always in sync. And until you can really learn how to control your breathing and know that, you're going to hit that wall, right? And stopping isn't going to help you get through it, right? When you hit that wall, in a run and you're done, you're dead, you're cramping all to hell, simply stopping is not going to help you get through it. You have to keep moving, even if it's just a small shuffle, right? So our breathing is like that. And so what I'm saying is that, when it comes to our breathing, I think our way of being is just like that. Being is one thing, and right, with our breathing, you can't just do one thing, right? You can't just breathe in, and you can't just breathe out. Why? Because you'll die if you don't do both things. Right? You have to do both movements. You have to breathe in and you have to breathe out. And that's life, man. Life is one thing with two movements. It's knowing and it is making known, right? So as it relates to fieldcraft and virtue, it has to be, listen to me, it has to be one thing. It's us, and it's being out in nature or out in the world around us, right? And being in this world is one thing with two movements. The things that we do, right, that's the fieldcraft. We have to do things, but then there is a reason why we are doing things. It is what is pushing us. It is what we know, and then we are making known by actually doing them. And a lot of channels out there spend all of their time, and that's probably what separates this channel from a lot of others. And I don't know if that separation is a good thing yet or not. I mean, we'll see. But it is what it is, right? But everybody spends all of their time, puts all of their eggs in the basket of, here is what to do. Here is how you do it. There are other channels that you can find out there that talk about why we do things the way that we do, or how to think, right? Commentary and thought and process, but it never connects with what to do about it. And these people never connect why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Here's what I'm doing, but I'm not telling you why. And so I try to spend some healthy balance of time here of sharing the why with what I do. Like, does that make sense? Man, friends, I hope it does. Because I think it's so important. I think it all comes down to that. Why are you doing what you're doing? And then once you know something, what are you going to do about it? Right? What are you going to do about it? It's about living with integrity. That's what tactical virtue is. Living with integrity. But integrity to what? What are we aligning ourselves to or with? What are we saying is structurally right and whole and good? That's what we need to be aligned with, right? That's what we need to have integrity with. What's the right way to look at and approach how we interact with our neighbors? How we look within? And because I've also, just opened and rendered myself up, sharing some weaknesses that I've battled with, and some of it I continue to battle with. Because I think that's authentic. It's real. Everything you see here on the channel is not scripted. Because life isn't scripted, man. It doesn't mean I don't take out some of the crazy moments. I do, But I'm not a big production show, right? I'm just a regular dude like you, right? I'm just a regular person like you are, friend. I just happen to be on this side and you're on that side of the channel. And that's what tactical virtue is. So why did I put tactical in relationship to virtue, right? Tactical virtue. Why wasn't it just enough to say develop your virtue? Well, I mean, quite frankly, because I wanted that sense of action to be intimately tied and connected to what we know and what we believe, what we're aligning ourselves with. It wasn't enough for me to just have craft and virtue, right, together. I wanted that other adjective in with virtue. The things that we are doing. It's action-oriented. What we believe must be action-oriented. It's not enough to raise a sign and protest. It's not enough to hit the send button. It's not enough to smash a like button. That's worthless at the end of the day. It will do you nothing to make yourself right and whole. We have to incarnate. We have to flesh out. We have to walk through what we believe in this world. And I'm so glad, man, I'm so stoked that we're on this journey together. Because every day, every video, I'm learning a little bit more and I'm mastering my craft. And my true goal in all of this is that we master our craft together, continuing to grow and to learn from each other. And that's why I'm so adamant and I'm thankful to have a little bit of a smaller channel, because at this point I can comment and reply to each and every single one of your comments. So if you do leave a comment down below, know that I'm going to respond back to you. And I get super stoked when I see you guys replying to each other as well. You know, if you send me an email, I'm going to send you an email back. The way we can stay connected as we continue to grow out in this world around us and we figure out what it is that we need to be aligned with and what it is that we need to do about it. Friends, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the content of the video, make sure you do smash that like button. Share this video with somebody else who needs to hear this message. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell. It's right there. And you'll stay up to date on some future content. As always, until then, you stay stoked.